Namandaps, 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 namandaps.高原に維持無我如善妙無用当社日月間に主公縁よ開始のんぺい有脈樹木如来予言調整無輪小学大音コルジポ開門精進三昧知恵意徳無量修正形人体前年小仏崩壊愚人人の苦語外体無明欲ぬ世尊用無二の死死人徳無量空君広大知恵人妙光明一層神道大仙願が差仏在所法可動生じ未不下脱不正常意解任生じ如是三昧知恵以上我世特仏不行志願一切空空一切大安決しう仏百千億万無量大小修行語者供養一切使徒諸仏不如愚道見性不逆非如語者小分世界無不可見無主節の光明師匠変死諸国如是精進 異次難量量朝仏国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国女内音二無闘争がと愛民道達二切自法来生新年少女伊藤が国下落安穏公文神妙是が心象発願の日力小所欲自法生存知恵無下上領子孫知が信行下領心死食読中が行精進人寿不敬ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがにしく毒平等性祭道法菩提心往生安楽ナマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツサマンダツPlease join me in Gasho. Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, not one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues, the defiled waters of their blind passions not separated from it. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandaps, 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 Namandaps. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our first Sunday service in August. Wow. I can't believe that time has passed so quickly. But in other ways, time seems to have slowed down as well. Recently, this past weekend, July 31st, the Tacoma Buddhist Temple had its drive-through Obon. And unfortunately, this year as well, due to the pandemic not ending, we decided it was the safest choice to not have a full-fledged in-person Obon. Instead, we decided to have a drive-through Obon where people could come and pick up their obento, pre-order sale obento, and they could get a glimpse of Obon with some volunteers, temple volunteers, dancing the traditional Obon dances, and of course, our wonderful Fuji Taiko group playing their drums. And I will say it was a beautiful sight to see. You will definitely see a video of the highlights of this event in some weeks to come, I'm certain. But until that time, I would like to thank everyone who came to participate and to volunteer their time and their dedication to the temple. I would like to thank, of course, our wonderful president, Crystal Inge, for really helping with this event and for pretty much leading us in this time. And of course, our former president, David Yotsuye, who also was part of this planning committee. And of course, Lynn Tonino and Jun Akita for being the sort of the main people in the kitchen, getting all of the food and leading us in preparing all of these wonderful bento that we enjoy. And it really sparks in my head that, this temple doesn't function just because of me. As a minister, it sometimes gets easy for me to think, well, I'm the head of this place or I run this place. That is not the case at all. This isn't the case. And I think that a lot of us ministers probably should remember, especially me, I should remember this, that I alone do not run this temple. In fact, this temple runs because of wonderful members like the members of the Tacoma Buddhist Temple. We all work as a unit. We all work as a team. And in times like these especially, it is very, very apparent. So, once again, this pandemic doesn't seem to be getting over with. This pandemic doesn't seem to be ending. And I'm sorry that I am bringing up somewhat of a sore subject here, but beforehand, I'm pretty certain everyone else was sort of thinking that, oh, well, now more people are getting vaccinated and the cases are starting to drop. I think this is a positive outlook. I think everybody was thinking this. The people in the government were thinking this. The CDC was kind of thinking this too. And now, all of a sudden, the Delta variant is upon us. And now we as an organization and we as a society, we have to sort of rethink how we're going to approach this situation. We have to sort of rethink about reopening the temple doors fully again. We have to rethink about how we're going to conduct services. All of these things are these parts of life that just get thrown at us at times. And sometimes we have to rethink how we conduct ourselves in society. We have to rethink how we make plans. I was on the phone with a fellow colleague of mine, and we were talking about, in 2023, that's going to be the Buddhist World Women's World Women's Convention in Kyoto. And 2023 seems to be kind of like a distance away. And yet, I, for one, was reluctant to really make any commitments, to plan anything, and to really just even get it in my head that, ooh, maybe I'll be able to go to Japan. This pandemic has also really changed the way that I think or that I make plans. So, as a foolish being caught up in blind passions and caught up in my own self-desires and my own self-wants, I have also found this change in the situation to be very, very frustrating. I want to go out and I want to fly all over the place. One of the places I've been telling my wife that I really want to do for kind of like a solo vacation is I really want to go to Santa Cruz. That's my alma mater, UC Santa Cruz. And for those of you who have not been to Santa Cruz yet, it's a beautiful place. I love the beaches. I love the area. I love the university. I will always be a banana slug at heart. And yet now, just in my head, I'm thinking, when can I go there? When can I get out of this space that I'm in and take another vacation? And this continuing of the pandemic is starting to really frustrate me. It's starting to really, really get me upset. And I'm certain it's the same for everyone else. All of this time, we're starting to think that things were going to get better. And sadly, now it's looking like the cases are starting to rise again. So I wonder to myself, wow, where is, why won't this end? Why won't this end? Now, I certainly have my opinions, my personal opinions, which I will not share here about why this pandemic will not end. Yet I also must really, at this time, turn myself back to the Buddha for guidance, for wisdom and compassion. And that is why I shared the quote or the Gosandai for today. Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, not one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues, the defiled waters of their blind passions not separated from it. So once again, this quote comes from the Wasanzan Vasubandhu, who is the second of the Pure Land Masters. And I wonder, this Wasan talks about us again. It talks about the people who take refuge in Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. And who are we? We are these foolish beings who are caught up in our blind passions, who are caught up in our own self-desires. We all want things, especially right now. Particularly, we want this pandemic to be over. And why do we want this pandemic to be over? Well, number one, of course, we don't want to get sick. That's the big thing. That we want our health to be safe. We want to be safe in our health. And sometimes I think people get frustrated because we live in this world of modern medicine. And yet still, it is so easy for us now to get sick. But on the other hand, we want this pandemic to end because we want to go out. We want to go and celebrate with our friends. We want to go and take vacations. We want to go out to malls again. We want to buy stuff. We want to get out. We want to see the world. We want to go to Disney World. We want to go to Disneyland. We want to go to all these places. And now, because the pandemic is not over yet, we have to rethink how we do these things. We have to rethink about vacations. Are we? Should we? Maybe? So right now, I think, at least for the time being, we can still somewhat do these things. And when I say that, what I mean is that we just have to be very careful on how we do these things. We can't take off the masks right away. When we go out in public, we used to think, oh, I'm fully vaccinated, and that means I don't have to wear a mask. We have to rethink that. We have to change that thinking. When we go on an airplane, when we go out in public, we need to put a mask on. It's just one of those things that we have to do. And not just to protect ourselves, but to protect others. We need to get inspired by Amida Buddha's wisdom and compassion. We need to once again turn towards Amida Buddha for an example to follow. Yes, we are imperfect beings. We are foolish beings. But we also can be inspired by the great kindness and the wisdom of ocean of treasure and virtues that Amida Buddha has. We can't obviously follow Amida Buddha exactly as an example, or we can't hope to achieve the same type of virtues that Amida Buddha has. And yet, this means that we can easily rethink situations. We can say, you know what? Times are still a little bit difficult right now, so I can put on a mask. It's not that hard. I can put on a mask. I don't have to shake a person's hand so much. But most importantly, I put on a mask because what the experts are telling us is that this virus is transmittable through the air particles we breathe out. So I want to protect people. Not only do I want to protect myself, I want to protect other people. So with that in mind, I think, again, especially us as Jodo Shinchu Buddhists, we have to once again come to the resolve that we have to rethink how we approach situations. We have to rethink how we conduct ourselves. We have to rethink how we go out to places, right? We can still wear masks. It's not that hard. And with that in mind, I thank you all again for attending our virtual Sunday service here on YouTube. And once again, please wear a mask. You can say the Nembutsu still while wearing a mask. So once again, thank you all for attending today's service. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Nam mandats, nam mandats, nam mandats, nam.